Why, hello there, everybody, and welcome to the premiere of Frozen Frontier. How are you doing?
Doing pretty
good.
Excited. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Chillin'. Definitely chillin' in the Frozen Frontier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Early morning for all of you guys, isn't it?
Oh god, it's ungodly early.
It's 8 o'clock. It's not that bad.
It's 8 o'clock, man.
I've already enraged my whole house with my boisterous pre-game banter.
I mean, you didn't have to sing to us. That probably just rubbed salt in the wound.
Did you have to sing to people?
It was a joke.
Yeah.
Just nod, Neal. Pretend.
Okay, yeah, cool. Woo.
I was totally serenading you before the stream went live. Make the viewers jealous.
Okay. So it's been about a week since we played last and introduced our characters. How are you guys feeling about your characters right now?
I'm very excited.
Excellent.
So good.
Well, why don't we do a quick turn about the table?
Apparently there's a problem with cams. Oh, our cams are flipped, Neal.
Oh, you are... Fuck. I looked at those and I'm like, yeah, he's totally Sean. You're totally Nick. Nick, you just want to cycle your camera
I
real
take
quick?
offense to that. Thank you.
Are we listed as our names, not as our characters?
Player names, for now. Yeah. So, where are we? I was going to say, why don't we take a turn about the table and reintroduce our characters for those of you who might have missed the intro show, the character creation show, and the prelude. So, Greg, you want to start us off? Who are you, and who is Jaromir?
My name is Jaromir. I'm from Matava, a wizard by trade. I have tattoos all over body. Tall, kind of thin. I'm kind of weirdo, according to other people. I disagree. I say other people weird. Jaromir is the straight man in company.
All right. Ryan.
I am Grimes, the most infamous cat burglar in all of Wicthron-Renta. I will be our party's mountaineering expert to get us over all manner of treacherous crevasse and various mountainsides, repel us into all these dungeons we'll be exploring down here in the Frozen Frontier.
Excellent. And Sean.
I am playing Ferris, the half-elven ranger who lives down in the Frostlands south of Solwick. I've got like 20, 30 years. Yeah, I've got like 20 or 30 years of experience living out in like very frigid conditions. So I'm kind of the survival expert for this party. I'm going to help us all not freeze our butts off quite as much.
Yes. And last
also,
but not...
I'm racist.
Last but not least,
very important character quality. By the way, I play a racist.
Nicholas.
Yep. I am Captain William Marshall, leader of the Caldonian expedition, and I've put together this ragtag group of hooligans. And I'm in service to Princess Neal.
Princess Sella.
Princess Sella of Solwick.
Notepad.
William Marshall's an impressive fighter, a heroic knight, and a man to be looked up to and revered by all.
I'm sure he is. We'll find out. So let's do a quick few more details about your characters. We know you're a wizard and you're a fighter. What sort of equipment do you carry? What is your fighting style? What is your niche?
Sure.
Let's hear a little bit more about you guys.
So Ferris wears hide armor. He's got like long blonde hair, a tattoo going across his face. He's got like big, thick hide armor that also serves as his clothing down here in this very cold wasteland. He carries a saber in his main hand and a khopesh in his offhand, and he tends to dual wield his weapons. And then he also has a longbow that he uses for long-range encounters.
Excellent. Greg, I guess you're a wizard. What do you carry for?
So my fighting style is le bitch move. I think that's how we describe that. I am a strange type of wizard specialist. I am, in fact, a geometer. So I use the arcane symbols, the symbols of the arcane, to channel magic, and as such, I use my own body as a kind of a spell book in and of itself. I am covered in arcane tattoos, and these kind of are the sources of my power. Other than that, I have a sling stone, but I have 6 strength and 8 dex, so the bitch move is really, really what it's about. I take enemies to Dick Kick City and then color spray
them. Well, on that note, Grimes, what is your specialty? How do you work?
I have many specialties. I am a rogue of sorts, but on this expedition, I'm primarily the mountaineering expert. So most of my weight is spent lugging around all manner of climbing equipment, ice picks and pitons and rope. In terms of combat, I've got a couple blades. I've got a crossbow. I can handle my own in combat, but I will probably be pulling a Yaromir and using Le Biche move fighting style.
He's very effective.
And last but not least, Kel William.
I carry a long sword and a large circular shield emblazoned with my house sigil. I wear chainmail armor, and over the top of that have a heavy leather coat and a heavy cape to sort of keep warm. And yeah, I mean, very much just up in the thick of it, fighting toe to toe with the enemy.
All right.
Cutting off heads and bashing people in the face with my shield.
Okay. Well, we are going to come into game unless there's something else someone wants to bring up.
Wheel of Time now.
Oh, no, not Wheel of Time. This is a Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles household right now. I got the GameCube set up for the first time in a long time, and that's that's what this weekend's dedicated to.
That game sucks, doesn't it?
That game is amazing.
Are you thinking Mystic Quest?
Maybe I'm thinking Mystic Quest.
There were like 3 Crystal Chronicles games, and only one of them was good, so I don't blame people for making a mistake.
I was thinking Mystic Quest 2.
Okay, yeah. So there's a GameCube game. It's best played in co-op.
Yeah, right.
It's a really good game.
Do you need a GBA to play it as well?
Yeah, you need a Game Boy Advance to be able to play it in co-op. It's a really weird system, but it's cool. It's a great game. It's a solid action RPG, but the big thing is that it's got that game feel. It's got that amazing atmosphere, that general feeling of a well-written Final Fantasy game.
All right.
Anything else?
So
no, that's it.
So I was going to ask about character art. Do we not want to? Are we missing so much that we don't want to show what we do have?
Correct.
Correct.
We'll do character art another week.
Okay. So pretend I didn't mention it, but
yes.
But much hype.
Okay. So I think we're going to come into game before you guys actually reach Caledonia. We're going to come into game while you are still on the ship on your way.
The sea skipper.
Yes. And more to the point, we're going to start with Kel William. This is your expedition. You're leaving your wife and your kids behind to take these odd people. I think none of these are the sorts of people you would normally interact with.
Yeah.
What's going through your head as you are sailing to this frozen continent so far away from home?
William's kind of torn, because on one hand, he's leaving his wife and children behind to do a job that he didn't really want to sign up for, and he feels sad that he's not going to be able to retire, that he's potentially going to die and never see his family again. He feels upset that his father-in-law, Richard, has essentially engineered this and left him high and dry, and he can't help but imagine Richard taking the position of leadership of the village that should have been William's. So he's pretty upset, but he's a knight and he's spent his whole life in pursuit of glory, and indeed this is an opportunity for great glory, and it's a chance to show his valor, and he's making the most of a bad situation. If he's got no choice but to do this thing, which according to the way he sees it, he doesn't have a choice. He's gonna make sure he does it right, and is wants to make a success of it. So he's certainly gonna throw himself in, hook, line, and sinker. to make sure he does a really good job. Yeah, so I think he's maybe wants to spend some time on his own and sort of like maybe feel sorry for himself a little bit, but he's not going to let himself do that. So I think he's going around the ship, speaking to the group, making sure that everyone's spirits are high, because it's straight down to business once we get there.
Well, everyone, how are your spirits? Are you excited? Are you dreading this? Is this pulling teeth? Is this the great first step onto an amazing adventure? Where are you feeling?
I am regretting lack of body fat. It's too fucking cold already, and we're not even there.
It's only going to get colder than this, Yaramir. You best get used to it.
I need potatoes stat.
Grimes is in excellent spirits. Compared to the cage he's been locked in for the last couple of months, even the ship is sweet freedom. So he's hanging from the topsail, climbing on the ropes, pulling a Leonardo DiCaprio at the bow.
So I think William's a little bit suspicious of Grimes. He wasn't William's own choice to bring along. The princess recommended him. I am aware that I blew your cover on being in prison before you joined the group, but I think that's a conscious decision for William. He wants the group to know that you're potentially not to be trusted. And
so that is a thing that you let slip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keeping an eye on you.
All right.
What about you, Sean?
Ferris is probably, like, off on the deck somewhere where it's a little bit more private, like in the back somewhere, and just kind of like staring out over into the ocean, and not really like saying much to anyone, kind of making an effort not to engage anybody. William's like, "How are your spirits doing, Ferris?" And it's just, "Better before you came along, William."
Assuming we've been on sea for a little while, Yaromir's been following you around incessantly, trying to like prod you for more information. Like, completely undeterred that you're a little bit racist and definitely a dick to me. Like, I'm like, I need to know story of your people. They're very interesting. Tell me, what do you know of magic? How do you see magic? Do you know these tattoos? Like, I'm like disrobing and like showing you different tattoos on different places and like trying to get you to like engage with me at all.
And if
Bother me not, wizard. I know little of your ways.
Oh, but no, look, you have tattoo on face. You are elf, no? Pointy ears, sharp teeth. I see it. You must know something. People have arcane flowing through your blood.
I mean, how
Like
else
I
would they
do
be
vodka.
cannibals? That's canon, right? Elves are cannibals?
It is now.
Holy
Perfect.
shit.
And I'm
sure
the one you're worried about.
Yeah, maybe I've made a mistake. If I overhear that, I'll be keeping an eye on Faris as well.
Excellent.
In fact, somehow I've ended up with a very ragtag group of people. I think I need to keep an eye on all of you.
Yeah.
And the
Do not
paranoia
worry,
begins to
Yaromir
set
is a
in.
quality person. May run off to get a lichen moss thing that glows occasionally, but always return.
Right, good to hear it, Yaramir.
Until you get ambushed by the displacer beast as soon as you walk outside the fort. Then it's all over.
This would be problem, yes.
All right. Well, I think it's time to start. So you guys are on your ship, and you see approaching you in the far distance the very tip, very pinnacle, the end of the peninsula that is Caledonia, the frozen wasteland that was the thriving southern continent 1,509 years ago, or so about, until the gods split apart the world in Arcadia and froze this little area over. And it's kind of been locked in a time capsule ever since. And it's appearing for you on the horizon. There's some ice flows around. You see a tip of an iceberg off to your left. High packed snow kind of extending out into the water on your right. As the ship comes to a slow stop and weighs anchor near the tip of Caledonia. It's not deep enough for the large ship to pull all the way up to shore, and there's no pier. So you guys are going to have to be rowed out on small boats.
All right, this is it, boys. Let's go.
I bid adieu to our lovely sea captain Jax? Dax? Zaz?
Zaz.
Zaz. Who Neal breezed over, but I've probably been hitting on shamelessly. And I pick up my backpack.
Yeah, Ferris
toss it
takes
in a
all of
boat.
his worldly possessions which is a backpack and the stuff that he's wearing on him, and hops into a boat.
Yep.
Okay. Just making one more note here.
Ooh, you redid the map.
Yes, the map has been redone. So you guys all pile into this little rowboat. Some of the crew members help row you to shore.
So it's just the four of us? The rest of the expedition is already on shore? Like there's a fort?
Yes.
Can we see said fort from the boat?
Not at first. You're kind of looking out over this great winter wonderland, and you're not really spotting the fort. But as you row towards shore, you can see a small group of people coming down this slight hill, the slight forested hill. And when they come down, you can kind of like make out the fort in and amongst the trees. You can see there's this little like watchtower that sticks out above everything. That's what catches your eye at first. And coming down to the shore is this knight, accompanied by a bunch of soldiers. I think you all recognize her to be Kel Hughes, or Captain Hughes, whichever one you prefer to call her.
Why would we recognize it? Does she have like a name floating in space above her head?
No, she's
like yellow too, so like it's not just a common NPC.
Yeah, and she also has like the little quest indicator above her head because we know that she's going to send us out.
Yeah.
You have been told about her before. She's the knight in charge of all of this, so she's got a breastplate on, not just like leather armors. She's got long black hair, and she, stands with the presence that tells you she's in charge, while the other soldiers are all kind of like marching in semi-similar uniforms. She stands out amongst the group. You guys pull to shore, get off your little rowboat as she and her people come down. You notice with her and these other folks is this guy. You don't know who he is. He's got slightly darker skin, probably closer to Yaromir's look. And with him is this little 8-year-old girl, or 10-year-old girl, or something like that. This like really young kid.
Strange.
Yeah.
But I will ignore that for now, and I will go up to Captain Hughes. Captain Hughes, it's good to meet you, and shake our hand.
All right. She shakes your hand as well.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
These are my men.
I approached as well and bow deeply. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Captain Hughes.
This charming one is Grimes. This dark-skinned fellow, that's Yaromir. And the half-elf, that's Faris.
She gives you each a nod in turn. This is it.
This is it. This is us. We are highly capable, though. Please, can you show us to the fort? Introduce us.
In a moment. She turns to the man and the child, looks at the guy and says, "David, it's time to say your goodbyes." The man starts to break down into tears a little bit, not too strongly. He's like holding him back. He's sobbing a little bit, and he gives the young girl like a big hug and starts talking to her. You catch that her name is Amelie. And it seems that she, from the conversation they're saying, snuck aboard the ship when they were coming to establish Fort Wick down here.
I was just gonna say I lean into one of the soldiers and ask if they made that one here and point to the little girl.
The soldier shakes his head and goes, "Stow away. It's his daughter." And it seems that the young girl is being kicked off of the island, off to the frozen southern continent, as a risk, a liability.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Looking up to the foreboding frozen forest ahead. Yes, no place for a child.
I mean, in a few years' time, she'll be fit to fight.
No place for any man.
It's cold.
Rub my gloved hands together. Well.
They pack the little girl on a ship, on the rowboat, and start sending her back, in tears, crying. While Captain Hughes takes a look around at you guys.
You may wish to tie that one up. She stowed away once already and is clearly distraught.
She looks to one of the people with you. You recognize him as as a sergeant by the insignias on his shoulder. She says, "Joseph, would you take our new friends and show them to their lodgings while we deal with the supplies?" Joseph gives a nod and points up the hill.
Thank you, Captain Hughes. Joseph, after you.
He gives a grunt and starts trudging up the snow steps.
How many men in all are on the beach at this point? How many soldiers do we
Let's
see?
see. You've got 8 grunts, plus the Sergeant Joseph, plus David, Captain Hughes, and, well, I guess the girl, Amelie, is on the rowboat now, so she's not on the beach anymore.
Okay. And is it cold here?
Yeah. You're in Caledonia. It's cold.
Yes. So even here where the fort is established, like, would we be taking weather damage if we weren't doing this so quickly?
Yeah, if you were out all day, you would take weather damage.
Or even out for like an hour, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right, I let the other 3 go ahead, and then I will follow up the rear.
Okay. You guys start marching up the hill when you hear a cry and a splash coming from the water.
I told you to tie her up.
You look back, and the boat is maybe
Yaromir.
30 feet from shore, and the little girl has jumped overboard to try and swim.
Hell.
But she's clearly floundering in the water, unable to swim, and probably freezing.
I drop my backpack and look around to see if anyone knows how to swim.
Does anyone have any
Ferris
rope?
literally just stands there and says, "Damn fool."
How far out is she?
She's like maybe 30 feet, 40 feet.
I'm going to grab some rope off someone.
Okay, so I just shout at the rowboat to like.
Grimes starts slowly walking towards the shore.
Okay.
And
Bring her ashore.
looking around, hoping someone else knows how to swim.
I mean, you see the rowboat is like furiously trying to change direction and row back the other way to get to her, but she's flailing in the water.
Does anybody have any damn rope?
Yeah, I've got rope, so I'm prepping that.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, let's throw the rope out to her, right?
Okay. So you guys start to pull out your rope and give it a toss.
So Grimes will go in the water. He'll strip his cloak and kick off his shoes and go in the water. It was very begrudging though. Like he waits a good 30 seconds to make sure no one else is going to do it.
What
I am a strong swimmer.
Okay. So are you actually swimming out to the girl, or are you just like wading in the water and tossing her a rope?
No, we'll take this cold system for a spin. I'll take the bait. I will ditch as much clothes as I can.
I mean, we're right
in that
outside the
first
fort.
minute
You should be fine.
and swim out the 30 feet with the rope.
All right, so you swim out. As you get to there, the boat is coming back. They're like starting to extend an oar to you, but you get an arm around the girl who's panicking and starting to drown at this point.
Yeah, so I left the other end of the rope on shore, right?
Mm-hmm.
With
William. I start to pull them in if Grimes has got hold of her.
Okay. The boat starts coming back to shore, but you guys manage to pull Grimes and the now freezing girl onto shore before the boat gets there. Captain Hughes, Kel Hughes, immediately starts yelling for people to help the two of you into the fort before you all freeze to death down here.
Yeah.
And there, I think, is a flurried march back up the hill to the fortress, which slowly comes into view.
Is there any chance of anyone dying here, or are we just like?
I don't think so. But can I get a preview of what happens when you get wet? Have you thought that through?
Let me open up my getting wet table.
Like, do I need to burn this little girl back into warm?
You don't need to set her on fire. The consensus among the NPCs seemed to be that if you get her into the fort where there's already a raging fire, she'll be okay. Maybe. I don't think burning hands on a girl is a good idea.
Well, no, it's not burning hands, it's burning touch. They have different ability.
It's not the primary.
I thought that was an STD.
Go for.
No.
That's a different spell.
When you grow up in Matava, there is very little opportunity to spread STD.
That's true. All right. You guys haul the girl back into the fort and throw her in front of a fireplace along with the very wet Grimes. The man known as David comes over next to you guys, wraps his arms around his daughter, and then looks at you with big, wide, sad eyes and goes, Mister, I don't know who you are, but you just saved my little girl.
Don't mention it.
No, really, it's a big deal. He's like mid 40s, maybe early 40s. He's like 5'8", 160 pounds. He's got short cropped hair. He's not wearing like thick leathers and thick hides like everyone else. He's kind of just got like a tunic and some pants and a slight coat that he's wearing. He seems pretty cold.
Yeah, I know. Does no one else here know how to swim? Like looking around at the other intrepid heroes and
Everyone's
the soldiers.
Sort of just shaking their heads.
Fold out my arms from this like deep cloak, and they're like rail thin, like thinner than any arm should be. And I'm like, I am not good at these things that require physical strength. My mind is my weapon. I do not swim, except for in sea of knowledge.
The only place to swim where I come from is Cinder Spring. You don't swim long for there before you die.
I'll go
Fuck,
to you,
it's
Grimes.
cold.
Would you like me to touch you? I have burning capability.
Don't touch me.
It will warm you up, I promise.
All right.
It may
Is there
hurt a little?
So what's the inside of the fort like?
Well, let's take a look at the fort page. I think it's visible to everybody right now. This is Fort Wick. There are a bunch of rooms. You guys tentatively have this bottom right corner for yourself. This is where you live.
PC room.
Yeah, the PC room. It's not where you store your computers. The Captain Hughes and her aide, her not second in command, but it's her what do we call it? Her corporal, who you will be introduced to shortly, live in the room right next to you, and it also has the big fireplace and everything. The room above that is where David the cook lives, and also where he kind of works with his supplies and everything. He is also attached to the storeroom for easier access to food and salt and sugar and all those wonderful things. And then across the way, which is maybe 20 feet wide, are 3 different chambers, one for each squad.
So we walk in this small back door of the.
Yes, you guys walk in through the.
That's the ocean side.
Yes, you walk in through the back door and then in like this.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. This is a big watchtower in the middle of the yard.
Yes, it is.
Right next to the pile of copper coins.
Yes, right next to the pile of copper coins.
All right. So we're hurried through the kitchen into the captain's chamber.
Yeah, and given some chairs right next to the fire and a couple of big warm furs to.
Yeah. So I set down my bag and wet rope on the floor and begin stripping wet clothing.
As you're doing this, one of the sailors that was with you comes in the room and seems to be conferring hurriedly with Captain Hughes. There's some exchange of unpleasant looks and a flurry of body language that tells you they're having some sort of altercation. And then the man storms out quickly.
Anything we should be concerned about?
Something about the tides. The ship must be leaving shortly. I don't think there's enough time to warm up the girl and put her on before they have to leave. She looks to the little kid. Looks like you're going to be staying with us another month at least. Try not to get in the way.
Stunt like that, I think the little one deserves to stay.
No, she needs rope next time. Yaromir tried to warn you, was too late, sorry. Apparently you are not familiar with ways of stowaway. However, his rope is good use for this purpose. The people cannot escape as easy.
I'll crouch down in front of the girl and say, "You're lucky my friend Grimes was here. Let's not try anything like that again."
The 8-year-old girl nods slowly and then just wraps her arms even tighter around her father.
I stand up and put tap Grimes on the back and say, "You did good."
Grunt.
And turn back to the captain.
Alright. I think it's here where we're going to take our first break, maybe a little bit early, but I think
I sent you a message on Discord, Neal.
Then I will take a look at that during our break.
Maybe look at it now, because it might not even matter.
Oh.
But
okay.
Just a thing that could have potentially been. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. No worries. We'll see you guys on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.